All right, so you have your thread. Now, the idea behind the red thread ceremony is that we're going to make that extra connection so that even when we're not painting together later, we will be able to look at our thread and think of the connection that we've had. So I have mine here, and we can think of it as though I'm passing the end to you as well, and then you can have your piece, and you're only responsible for your piece. It's a really nice reminder not only of our connection, but also of the fact that we only have to worry about our bit. I don't know about you, but I have a tendency to take on everybody else's stuff. And unfortunately, it ends up being, you get stressed and you feel worn out. So it does happen. But if we think to ourselves, this is my piece, it is my connection to the other women that I participate with and paint with and are lovely beings in my heart. And I only have to take care of this bit. So I will wrap this. I usually do a couple times around my wrist. And then you can clip it off with a pair of scissors and tie it off. If you have multiple people with you, then you can each pass it around. And I know I had to get scissors too. Like I know there's scissors here somewhere. And if there's someone else with you, they can tie it on, and you can tie it on each other. If it's just yourself, then you can tie it on yourself. I tend to tie it and then double it and put it on my wrist. And then that way we are connected through this whole process and afterwards. So it's quite lovely. Can't tie a knot today to save my life. There we go.
Got it.
Oh, nice. Well done. You're much quicker than I am. I'm having knot issues today. There we go.
Well, you have to talk and instruct and all at the same time. So I just have to listen and do.
We're doing it all in one shot. Oh, so this is the space where we will come in and just sort of create and be and have our time. So it's lovely. And with the workshop being about our sumptuous selves, the whole idea is that we get to go in and figure out those things that make us feel good, that aren't necessarily about feeling good for someone else or looking good for someone else or being a certain body type or a certain way for other people, or changing our behavior, as many of us do, to fit in, as it were. This workshop is about finding the things that make us feel good and alive and juicy and full. And I'm so in love with this process that I had to share.
I love it. Yes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get comfy. So wherever you are, just get all comfy. Get yourself settled in. It's very warm here, so I had a sweater on earlier, but I got the girls out, so. I'm like, nope, they need to be out today. It's good. Cool off a little bit. It's good stuff. It's quite lovely.
Yeah.
So we'll get comfy and close our eyes. And what we're going to do is... Oh, sliding off my chair. Wait a minute. Getting too comfy. So we will take 3 big deep breaths in through our nose, out through our mouth. Just to really ground and be right here in the moment. And one more big deep breath in. When you feel as though you are comfy, and if you're not too disturbed by the extremely loud bird outside, we will have our eyes closed and we'll do a little visioning. And I will have you journal afterwards. So if you want to set it beside you, so it's almost like when you wake up from a dream and you're trying to capture the things that happened that you saw. So it's good to have it handy. And we're just going to sink in. And we'll come into a nice, warm, comfortable place. Depending on how you're feeling, it could be a light place or a dark place. And just let yourself rest there for a moment. And you can feel whatever you're wearing, if it's nice soft material, something comfortable. If you have a fluffy companion with their lovely soft fur, you can enjoy that. And then just sink in. And once you feel like you've reached a place where you're comfortable and your breathing's evened out and you feel good, we're going to take a little walk. And as we walk forward, we're going to see a little archway. And it's actually going to look, if you think about Alice in Wonderland with the small doorway that she crawled through, it's going to be that sort of feeling. It's something small, could be covered in carving, plants, depending on how you see it. The door itself could be made out of any sort of material. Could be wood, could be stone. And I want you to get down on your knees and go forward and feel it. Rest your hand against it. How does it feel? If it feels warm, does it feel cold? Is it smooth and worn? Or is it maybe rough? And as you push against it, it'll open. A breeze of air will blow through, caressing your skin. There might be a scent on the breeze, something you recognize that makes you feel good. When you feel ready, I want you to crawl through that little opening. And stand up on the other side and look around. Really explore what you see on the other side. Are you indoors or are you outdoors? What's around you? Is it a place that brings you comfort and peace? Is it a place that makes you feel cozy? Or a place that makes you feel free? And I want you to step forward and touch whatever is closest to you. Really feel the texture. Are there any certain fabrics that are there? If it's outdoors, are there certain plants or flowers? If it's indoors, what kind of room is it? living room, bedroom. Could be a sunroom. And as you walk through the space, explore it. Notice what different textures there are. If there are any foods in it. There could be a table laden with favorite foods. If you're outdoors, it could be a buffet on a picnic blanket laid out. Whatever it is that brings you comfort and joy. And as you continue moving through the space, notice if you feel as though you have too many heavy layers on you, or if you feel as though you need to pick up a blanket off of one of the pieces of furniture if you're indoors, or just really feel into how you feel in that space. If you need to shed some layers, go ahead. And if you shed some, what does it feel like you're taking off? Is it something that's a rough fabric, something that's heavy? Do you recognize the article that you're taking off? Does it feel a certain way? Does it bring a certain feeling, like emotional feeling to you? To remove it? And if you're putting something on, do the same thing. Feel what it is. See if it brings up any specific emotions when you place it over your shoulders. Feel into how you're feeling about that piece of fabric or article of clothing and what it brings you. And as you continue moving through the space, if you see anything on the table with food that you want to try, or that you know you love and would love to taste right now, pick it up and go ahead and have some. And as you continue walking, you can run your hands along whatever is nearby. If you're outdoors, it could be tree trunks. There could be a pond with rocks around it, and you want to sit and touch the water. Whatever it is that makes you feel good, even if it's just standing still in a green field with the sun on your face. And after you've moved in a circle around the space that you've entered, and you come back to the door, I want you to turn around again and look at the space that you are visualizing and see it as a whole. Notice if any details have changed from when you walked in. When you first stood up and looked around, has it gotten lighter or darker? What colors are there? Are there any specific details, shapes, items, scents that jump out to you? Things that you might want to take with you? And when you feel as though you have gotten a good look at this space, feel comfortable in it, feel as though you know where it is and how to find it again, I want you to crouch back down and return out through the door and leave it open. And when you stand back up on the other side, I want you to take your time, let yourself come out of it slowly. And when you're ready, open your eyes and journal. And you can take as long as you need to write down what you saw in as much detail as you can. And then when you've finished, we'll begin painting.